everyone, and welcome back to the Literacy Volunteers of Harrison County channel. We're a nonprofit United Way agency. We'd like to thank you for clicking on our videos. If you like them, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Today we're going to look at Lesson 5, which is the second part of the digestive system that we started. We looked at the anatomy in Lesson 4. In this instance, we're going to look at the physiology. Remember briefly, we talked about anatomy being structure, physiology being function. So now we're going to look at the functions of the digestive system. We have 6 processes that go with that. The first one is our ingestion of food. Digestion, we're moving it through, but when we ingest, we're just taking it into our body. We're ingesting the food. The second part of that is the secretion of fluids and digestive enzymes. We have to secrete those fluids and digestive enzymes to mix with our food in order to get it to digest. We're going to move that food and waste through the body, and these are the 3 processes by which we're going to do that. The first one is swallowing. So you chew the food in your mouth, right? And we have skeletal muscles that line your esophagus. We talked about that in the last video. It's sort of a smooth surface. So it's going to go down your esophagus, but it needs some help. And there's a process that we use a lot in the body. It's called peristalsis. And peristalsis is just a contraction. So what your esophagus does is it squeezes that food and it contracts so that it can move it through your pharynx, your esophagus, into your stomach. And that's what we're talking about here. Segmentation are just short little segments of that, of your esophagus, of that 10-foot long tube that will squeeze that food, like you squeeze a tube of toothpaste. And that's moving the food through your body. That's what we're doing. We're mixing it with the digestive enzymes and then moving it through your body. Number 4, we want to digest this food into smaller pieces. If you eat an entire hamburger, you don't put the whole thing in your mouth. You have to have little small pieces, and your body can't digest a huge mass of food. It has to be broken into little pieces. It's going to absorb the nutrients, because that's the reason you eat in the first place. You need the nutrients for your body. And then we want to excrete our wastes. And that process is called defecation. And those are indigestible substances. Substances that your body doesn't need or it can't digest. And then they accumulate in your gut and cause a lot of problems. So we want to get rid of those. That's controlled voluntarily by a part of your brain. That process is. And then I wanted to look at digestion versus metabolism. A lot of people get those two things confused. So the first phase up here is called the celiac phase, right? Cephalac phase. Mechanical digestion begins in the mouth. We looked at that. And saliva, your spit, right? There are a lot of things in that you don't even realize. In your saliva, you have bicarbonate, neutralizing acids, okay? We have mucus, you know what mucus is, and that helps to moisten the food and the oral cavity. Antibodies and lysozymes, and what they do is they fight off oral bacteria. Lyso means to kill. And anytime you see zyme like this, we're looking at enzymes or things that are fighting things in your body. So we're killing things in your body. They're killing oral bacteria that's in your mouth, right? That accumulates when you get up in the morning and your teeth are kind of gross. That's bacteria that's in your mouth. But you need it. Some of it's good and some of it we want to get rid of. And there's an enzyme called salivary amylase. Salivary meaning saliva. Amylase, anytime you see ASE on the end of a word, it's an enzyme. What enzymes do in the body is they speed up chemical reactions by lowering activation energy. So we don't have to put forth as much energy to get the desired result. And that's going to begin our chemical digestion in the mouth. Mechanical chewing, chemical, that's going to start digesting those starches. Only carbohydrate digestion begins in the mouth. That's it. A chewed mass of food is called a bolus, B-O-L-U-S. It's a bolus of food. And it moves via that peristalsis through our esophagus to the stomach, where it's mixed, absorbed, and digested. An empty stomach holds about 3/4 of a cup, 6 ounces of material, whereas a full stomach, when you eat a whole bunch of food, like in Thanksgiving, and you ate a big meal and you feel kind of like you can't breathe because it's pushing up on your diaphragm, that's the stomach is full at about 4 cups of food, even though you might have eaten more than that. We also have a hormone called gastrin, right? Again, I told you gastro means stomach. So gastrin is in the cells in the lining of the stomach. And what it does is it signals those glands to secrete these things. It'll secrete hydrochloric acid. And what the hydrochloric acid does is it denatures proteins and activates pepsin, which digests those proteins. Sorry. Gastric lipase is an enzyme that digests fat. LIP means fat. I told you ASE means enzyme. So we're seeing that that's an enzyme that digests fat that's found in the stomach. Yeah, and then we also have an intrinsic factor, and that's a protein that's necessary to absorb B12 into your system. So all of these things are in your stomach. Your food's in there, and all of these things are in there to help break down your food so that you can digest it. Then we already talked about it travels to the small intestine, and then it goes to the large intestine for water absorption. The rate at which we digest food varies from person to person. You may eat 3 cups of food in your friend, but it takes you twice as long to digest it or to process it than it does that other person. Well, and that's just because it depends on factors like your diet, what you're eating. Some things take a long period of time to digest, some just a short period of time, and then how active you are. If you eat a big meal and go lay down, you're not going to digest it as quickly as if you ate one and then took a walk. That's just the fact of your physiology. Metabolism is every single biochemical reaction that happens within your body. So we're talking about a whole host of reactions. There are 2 major categories. We look at anabolism, anabolic reactions, and catabolic reactions. So anabolic reaction, we're converting these nutrients, these molecules into nutrients. So you take in carbohydrates, your body breaks those down into carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. That's what a carbohydrate is, and it can convert it into different types of nutrients. That's anabolic reactions. Catabolism or catabolic, we're breaking things down. So anabolism and catabolism make up metabolism. It's kind of confusing, but that's what those make up. It's responsible for creating energy in your body. That's what you're getting from your food. One measure of energy is calories. You go to the store and you look on the back of that and it says this is 100 calories. Essentially, to get the amount of calories or kilocalories, they set something on fire. It's the rate at which it burns. And it takes a long time to burn up a piece of cake. It may take you 600 of those kilocalories to burn up a piece of cake. That's why when you see water, it has 0 calories, because you can't set it on fire. Does that make sense? So we're looking at calories. Our best bet, if we want to keep our metabolism working well, is to eat a diet rich of these nutrient-rich foods that have a lot of potassium, chlorine, whatever you need. And they give us the best chance to get all the vitamins, minerals, proteins, fats, and carbohydrates in our diets. So we would like to thank you. Please give us a thumbs up on the video. And my brother's going to do some videos on the brain that you can look at next. Have a good day.